there's a new superpower in Dagger. If you haven't seen it yet, you're going to see it now with Matthias.
Awesome. Yeah. Hopefully, this agent doesn't roast all of us during it. We'll see.
Actually, a surprising discovery I made is that AI models are just too nice. Like you need to, like the prompt that you need to write in order for the LLM to actually roast you is just so mean, and you still get like some encouragement. So yeah, it's not yet refined for some proper roasting, but we'll get there eventually. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what you built.
Nice. Okay, so a little bit of context before. In December 2025, there is a trail race happening in the south of Argentina, in the Patagonian region. It's called El Cruce. It's a 100-kilometer race over really technical, rough terrain. You go over mountain ridges, you cross rivers, streams, and you do all of it on 3 days while sleeping on a tent. So it's a challenging race. You can definitely have fun with it, but you need to train. If you arrive at that race and you haven't put in the miles, then you're not gonna have that much fun. We're running the race with a few friends, and I want to make sure that not just me, but they train as well, because we're running the race as a team. So we all need to get to the finish line at the same time for it to actually count. We're not gonna win. We're not gonna compete. But we want to have fun, right? So we better actually get to training. The way that we're gonna track and share our training with each other is via Strava, which is like a social media website where you can share the trainings that you do. The main reason why we use this is because each of us is on a completely different city, 1,500 kilometers apart. So it's how we can stay connected. And what I thought I could do is actually use Dagger to, spice things up a little bit and get a little bit competitive between us. We are actually very competitive in a, I don't know if a healthy way, but in a way. And we like to see, or at least it's motivating for me to see one of my friends actually logged a really interesting workout that I decided to skip that morning because it was just too cold, it was snowing, or whatever that may be. So maybe with this AI agent, we can actually, we can generate some competition that keeps you accountable in your training. So how do we do that? How do we actually get started? Well, the first step is to do what Jeremy said, which is go to the Dagger website. Let's go right there right now. Go for Dagger for AI agents right here. And you can get started locally. Like basically it just shows you what you can do. There are some examples that you can use. So I'm not going to go over that. We're just going to go directly into how we actually this particular agent.
And now, can we make it a little bit bigger for the font?
Oh yeah,
or as big as you're comfortable with for both.
Yeah. Is this one okay, or do you want a little bit more?
Let's get a little bit bigger too.
Nice.
Thank you.
Let's do that. There we go. Okay, so not going to go over the entire process, but I installed Dagger, I created a module, and I created a function that's called roast group. The function receives the credentials that it needs, and it receives an activity. And the purpose of this AI agent is to see the activity that I just posted on Strava, actually look at what's happening in our little group, so look at what my friends are actually doing, and then post a message on a Discord channel that we have, where it basically just tries, because it's failing a little bit, but it just tries to roast us. It doesn't matter how good the workout was or like whether you had fun with it or not. It's just going to find a way to mess with you. If you only burned 500 calories and that's only 2 slices of pizza, then it's going to let you know, hey, better not eat more than 2 slices. It just tries to have fun with it. And then it should also surface like how you are doing compared to my friends. So if I'm lagging behind on distance, it's going to let me know in the least pleasant way possible. At least that's the idea. And that's where, Dagger is great, but it's not going to help me write a good prompt. And I've been, you're going to see that it's quite, if I open it up here, it's relatively long. And I'm using words like, you must just mess with me. You must not be nice. And it's still being nice. So yeah, let's see.
So we need a prompt engineer who's used to
for sure. So what are we doing here? Yeah, let's go over like from the beginning. The first thing is we're using the LLM type. That's something that's going to be released very, very soon. And I'm using O3 Mini. I tried other models. It was a disaster. This one was the least disastrous. We are adding what we're calling a workspace. A workspace is essentially just a module that contains a list of functions, and those functions are going to be automatically available to the LLM. So if I open up the athlete workspace, which is really cool to think of like an athlete workspace, you can see that we have functions like notify Discord, get activity, get club activities, and list athlete activities. The really interesting part about this is that here I'm actually importing two separate modules. I'm importing the Strava module that I created, and I'm importing the Notify module that Gerhard created. Notify allows you to send messages on Discord. I just import them, I group them here, and there will be a better way of doing is, actually, maybe it's already released. I've been lagging a little bit behind on some of this stuff. I don't do as good a job as Sebastian, even though I work at Dagger. But essentially, this is going to be the list of functions that the LLM is going to have available when this particular session starts. So by me doing with Athlete Workspace and then specifying that, the LLM will now have access to those 4 functions and will be able to use them to, serve the purpose, the very important purpose that it has.
And to be clear, Matthias, for everybody who's watching this, there's nothing special about the word workspace here. We've been using it a lot internally, but in essence, this athlete workspace is just a regular Dagger module. And the magic is, as you said, when we attach it to the LLM with this special with whatever, then all of those functions become available to the LLM as tools. So if you're getting into LLMs and tool calling and agents, this is the easy button. Very cool.
Yeah, and the way, actually, that's a good clarification. The way that you do that is if you have the module installed. So if you actually install the Athlete Workspace, then you're going to automatically have a with Athlete Workspace or with Strava or what have you. And the LLM will be able to just use it for its very relevant purpose. So let's do the first demo and let's see if it actually works. I have my Dagger call here set up. This is going to basically use one of the activities that I uploaded, I think, last week or on the weekend, and it should actually send the message. So I'm going to open up Dagger Cloud right next to me. This should start. Let's see if it works.
We see another. We saw.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get to that one. Let's zoom in a little bit.
Yes,
that helps.
I'm roasting you to zoom in.
Yeah. So let's see if this actually did everything that it should have done. Let's show the spans. Come on. Okay, so either show me all the spans. Okay, so it doesn't seem to have called the module, which is interesting. And this is a fun thing about LLMs. They're not, idempotent. You're going to get the same result every time. But it did send a message. So let's actually go to the message, and I can guarantee you that it's just making stuff up. I can see that's Alice, that's Bob, and Charlie. I don't know what all of that is. So what we should have seen is, let me go here. Let's see if we can actually pull up a different roast.
For people who may be watching this and haven't seen what you're showing on the left side, like maybe.
We'll go over it. The idea was to go over it with everything that actually worked, but it didn't. So let's go over it now with the previous trace. So this one was a trace where the LLM actually did what it was supposed to do. And I'm not sure why in this particular occasion. I mean, I know why. I was doing a demo. So it was, of course, going to So here in Dagger Cloud, we can see the trace that's actually happening. Being ingested from the CLI. In this trace, I can see at the very top level that it's calling my roast group module. Right, and it's showing with this beautiful human icon what is the message that I'm actually sending, what is the task that I'm sending to the LLM. You can see here that there's an identifier that was automatically replaced by Dagger by me doing the with prompt var activity and then setting the actual activity. We can see here that the LLM started thinking. and actually called the get activity function of the workspace that we defined previously. After that, it did a little bit more thinking, and then it got the club activities, which it's used to see what my friends are actually doing. And after all of that, it sent the message on Discord, and then actually we received it on this particular thread, which I try to hide them, but you can see them here. That a lot of stuff has been happening. I don't know why I did that, but we're gonna do a second demo because once I did this, my main concern was, how can I get this to like something that runs all the time? I don't want to have to do a Dagger call every time that there's a new, every time that I see my friend actually posting an activity, or every time I post an activity. So what we did is, let me see if I can open it up here. We developed the server. We're going to find better ways of doing this. So this is not the state of the art or anything. This is just what I came up with. In this particular server, we're going to receive webhooks from Strava, and we're going to see basically receive the activity that a user posted. We're going to receive the activity ID, and based on that, we're actually going to do some work. So you can see here that what I'm doing is receiving the agent module, which is just a link to my module that where we're doing like the roasty. We're initializing it using the Dagger API. So we create a client, we initialize it using the API. We set some credentials based on what we have on the environment. We have an endpoint, which is called Strava. In this endpoint, we just parse the activity ID. And then we make a GraphQL query using the Engine API, where we just query roast group. And we say, hey, roast the group with this particular activity ID. And then everything should automatically happen. Now, because Dagger has both AI and CI use cases, I, of course, deployed this particular application with Dagger as well. So what do? We created a module for this, the CI of this application. And in this module, what we're doing is created a container that has both my server and the Dagger engine inside. So it's one container, which is both binaries that are going to be running side by side. We connect them together using the traditional buildkit.d.sock, like one of the many ways that you have of connecting to a host. And we deploy all of that to Fly. So we have in Fly an application running right here that's going to be receiving the request from Strava, doing everything with the LLM, and then actually posting, if it works, posting the message. So let's see if this particular demo works. Let me open up Strava again. Let's go to my training. Nothing very private here. Sorry. So I'm going
you got a cheering section over there.
Yeah.
And a quick as you pull this up, Matthias, a quick question. So I mean, really cool. So you were actually calling Dagger via the API, via an API query in that case.
Yeah, exactly.
Which some folks maybe haven't seen before. Very cool to know, because ultimately Dagger is an API. It's all API driven, and maybe you've seen it done through the shell or the CLI, like we saw in Sebastian's demo before, or maybe you've seen it done mostly through code in SDKs like Go, Python, TypeScript, Java, PHP, on and on. But also, ultimately under the hood, there is this GraphQL unifying API, which is why you can mix and match all the different languages and all these modalities. So cool to see that actually, in your demo. Also, one other question we had, Matthias, was
go ahead.
Have you tried with like GPT-4o versus say O3 Mini or?
Yeah, I tried with O1 as the beefiest model, and it just for some reason stays in a loop, like it never exits. And I added things to the prompt where I'm telling it, hey, do it once and then stop. I clearly need to work on my prompt engineering skills, but yeah, like O3 Mini was the, of all the models that I tested, even Anthropic ones, was like the most stable one, I would say. And even then, like, I don't know why in the demo didn't work. But yeah, like I get varied results with the different models. I think that's something that can definitely will be improved over time as new models are released, and can definitely be improved with my own prompting. There's also this idea that maybe there's a way that you can constrain your model to more like narrow tasks. So maybe I could go fetch the activity, and then the model doesn't have to figure that part out, since it's very simple. But yeah, the nice thing about this is that I already had modules created. I just imported them, and then everything worked most times out of the box, right?
Nice.
Right. No, exciting. And as was noted in the comment that popped up, you also need, if you're going to use this LLM and the with feature that you're using, you need to have a model that supports tool calling and does it well. And and so it sounds like O1 doesn't support that, but O3 Mini does. So
I mean, it did work because it was doing the thing, but it was just always doing it, like, and sending just new messages and new so I don't know what was happening. Okay, so to finish the demo, we have the application running here. You can see here that we have tracing built in. Since I have a Dagger Cloud token, when the server starts, we like the observability that Dagger Cloud gives you automatically creates a trace, and in this trace, we're going to be able to see every request that is going to be happening. So here we can see that the module was loaded initially, and for now, nothing else. And if everything works correctly, when I send this particular request, the application is going to start doing stuff. We're going to see here that we receive the actual call via the API. We send the thing. We tell what it needs to do. Then it thinks some time. It gets the activity. This time it actually did get the activity. So yay OpenAI. It thinks a little bit more. It gets the activities of the club to see how I'm comparing to my other friends. It's going to think a little bit more, and if everything works, it should send a message on Discord. So please send the message on Discord. I need one demo that works. Like last community call was a disaster as well. So let's hope this one.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah.
There we go.
And you're calling, and there it is. It's calling. These are, for folks that are watching, this is, go ahead. Pick it up. The action is continuing.
Yeah, there we go. Like that. Now we have a proper message that's a little bit long. So I'll leave it there in case someone wants to pause the video and actually read it. If you do read it, you're going to see that it does roast you, but I would be a little bit meaner. Like if I want to motivate someone that has some dry humor, I would lean more on the mean side than this. But we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Just the robots want to be. Thankfully, they want to be nice to us.
For now.
And that's it. That was the end of the demo. Please don't send too much stuff here because I have to pay for that. But I'm gonna take it down now. So yeah, be nice.
You kind of hit on it a little bit earlier, but one of the things I think that can be intimidating with all of these, different AI use cases is there's just so many tools that you can use, and there's so many different models you can try. But you were saying it earlier, but you built the modules, and now you can kind of just plug and play, which is so nice. And even myself yesterday, I was talking to someone about I was using OpenAI, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, no, you have to use Claude for this instead." And so the fact of having these Dagger modules, and you kind of just plug it into where you need it and test things out, it makes it less intimidating to try all this different stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
What works best,
Yeah. Like traditionally, I would have had to figure out how to send a message on Discord, but I went to my process was I went to Daggerverse. I went right here. I looked for Discord, and then Notify showed up. I saw what the API is. I saw there's a Discord function. Then I just add that to the workspace, and that's it. The model can now actually send message, like you can see here. It can send messages to Discord, so that's super nice. Being able to tap into an existing ecosystem, I think it's like the biggest upside that this LLM integration has.
Yeah, because I was actually when you're showing it, I was looking at Daggerverse for your module, and then so the athlete's workspace came up there. So if people want to try that out, or they see like, okay, I wanted these modules all together, like they can just go there. So I'll throw that link in the Discord in the chat too, so everyone can check it out more.
Nice.
Yeah, this is really cool. It's a really fun use case to show off what it can do with a really fun outcome. So.
And it's been working. This morning was particularly difficult to get out of bed, but I was kind of curious to see what the AI was going to think about my very easy stroll. So doing its thing. Yeah.
So this is you, Matthias, like in bed in the morning, just kind of looking at the Discord messages. Guess I gotta get up. I gotta put in the miles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
You don't want to be roasted by AI first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, Matthias, as like a capper, like for folks that got here late or really want to are interested, on the right side, could you bring up your workspace code again?
Yeah.
And just so you can so people can see the mapping on the left between the calls from the LLM.
Let's do the athlete workspace, you mean?
Yeah, athlete workspace.
Right here. So we have notify Discord, which is what it did right at the end. And then we have get activity and get club activities, which is what it did. Oh, in this case, it just got the activity, not the club activity. That's strange. Anyway, yeah, I need to work on my prompting. But I know there's ways of making this almost consistent every time. But yeah, it just, yeah.
Very cool.
Yes, yeah. I was looking at the chats of that. We might have created a monster here. Solomon was saying, can we adapt Roasty to roast Dagger developers about their pull requests? So we're about to.
I mean, the AI is always going to be nice, so we can do that. It's just I don't think we're gonna hurt people's feelings. We can definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually doesn't work. It's not actually hurting our feelings.
Yeah.
So.
It's gonna lift you up. Yeah.
Great. Well, this is really cool seeing it. It's a great showcase of all the different things that the team has been working so hard on of showcasing. And if people are looking at these examples and you want to build your own AI agents, we put it in the chat, but that new kind of quick start on the Dagger docs is the best place to go. It's getting updated almost daily at this point with updates or improvements in there. So if you have any questions on that or questions about getting started, Discord's going to be your place to go because our team's in there all the time. Matthias is in there, so if you want to copy his and you have questions on that, please go ask us over there. Anything else to wrap up with, Jeremy?
Hey, I would just no, thanks, Matthias. This is awesome. And actually, can you go to the docs page for AI agents? Because that's actually the place we want to direct people to now. So you just go to the docs, and then on the left side, you have this one right here. And yeah, this is the place to go. And as you scroll down, you'll see that there are a lot of us are cranking out examples. So if you have a cool example, let us know about it in Discord. We'd love to check it out as well. And it's really, really easy to get started pretty much with any model you might have. And there's examples here for both using some of the big models as well as local models you might have. So, and you saw Matthias earlier, there was a suggestion to get you connected up with maybe a local model so you could experiment. And maybe there's a model out there that's meaner than the rest.